So, now turning to the wider investing landscape, I'm joined for his perspective by Geoff Wood from Morphic Asset Management. Geoff, always good to see you. Welcome back to you in 2017.
Hi, Helen. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Now, I want to talk, we're obviously going to the American inauguration this Saturday, Australian time, Friday, American time. Now, Mr. Trump has broken really with all presidential kind of tradition. He is, at least in public and in his public comments, he's a contrarian. How do you think this is going to affect the investing landscape? And particularly, let's talk about the dollar.
Yeah, it's going to make it very difficult, actually. I mean, as we've seen, all it takes is one tweet from Trump and you can get quite a significant market reaction. Yesterday he did an interview in the Wall Street Journal and broke with convention once again and actually commented on the dollar, saying that the dollar was too strong, particularly against the Chinese renminbi.
Yeah, and?
So I guess, you know, in classic Trump style, the facts don't always support the comments. I mean, if the Chinese renminbi were to actually move to a free-floating economy, you'd probably find that it would actually weaken due to the heavy capital outflow pressures from the local residents. So the Chinese PBOC, their central bank there, they're continually having to step in, sell down their dollar reserves, and then essentially buy the renminbi to support it and prop it up against the basket of other currencies that they've chosen to trade against, including the euro. So broadly speaking, the renminbi is moving around like the euro, but Trump points at the Chinese once again.
Yeah, but I mean, if the renminbi was weakened,
yeah.
That's what America claims that it wants.
Well, what they want is a weaker dollar.
Weaker dollar against the renminbi.
Exactly.
And will he have any impact, do you think, over perhaps certainly this year, but over the next few years on the dollar?
I don't think so at all. I mean, ultimately, I think the dollar and the global currency markets are just so huge that even the President of the United States can't have any influence over those in the medium term. I mean, the Chinese renminbi is a special case because it's such a managed currency. They've got such a large reserve base that they can influence it over the short term. But generally speaking, things like euro and yen, etc., they'll move at the market's will and reflect growth expectations of the US versus the world.
All right, well, Britain's Theresa May, she made perhaps the first really major speech about this plan for Brexit. She was pretty clear, wasn't she?
Yeah, it was a great speech. I mean, in tough times for the UK there, she's really taken on the role of the leader. She laid down quite a concrete plan, 12 steps about what Brexit will look like, and essentially this is a relatively pure Brexit. It's not a halfway grey house. This is the UK taking back control of its borders. They're going to leave the actual union in terms of trade, and they're going to leave the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice.
All right, so it actually, sorry, we've only got limited time, Geoff,
yeah.
But I just, what did that do to the pound?
Pound rallied. It was one of the biggest days in years. It was up 3%, partly on the optimism and partly on the fact that Parliament will get a vote on it. So it's not expected that there'll be any sort of too hard-line terms in there that the populace won't like.
All right, so she gave us some sort of clarity or certainty, but still there seems to be, you know, quite a lot of policy uncertainty around, and certainly with Mr. Trump, but even around how Brexit is actually going to work out. Do you see this abating at all?
No, we don't. This is one of our predictions for the year, that policy uncertainty will not abate. I mean, we're in a regime change that Brexit and Trump signifies, so we'll see continued sort of jostling in Europe. So it'll be something the markets have to continually get their heads around over 2017. All
right, now Pakistan is something that you've been following. Is there one sector there, briefly, you can tell us about and that you like?
Cement.
Cement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. All right, quickly, why?
You wanted brief. So essentially the One Belt, One Road policy with China is resulting in a lot of infrastructure build, and cement in Pakistan is already operating at capacity with good, healthy margins. So these are good stocks to have in a portfolio.
All right, Geoff Wood from Morphic Asset Management. Always good to talk to you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Helen.